This past weekend, The Little Mermaid opened, but the critics were disappointed because they wanted you to take your kids to see the Kinky Mermaid.
What?
Hey, if you guys like our videos, please like, share, subscribe. We're going to give you a reminder here at the beginning before we jump into the numbers. Little Mermaid opened this past weekend, and the numbers were good. I think a lot of conservatives, because of all the political controversy over the race of Ariel character, were probably hoping that the movie would bomb. It did $117 million. It was the fifth highest grossing film for Memorial Day weekend, which are good numbers. It's faring pretty close to some of the other live action Disney remakes that were positive.
You're very welcome.
But there's a couple of things that are very interesting about this. Like Rotten Tomatoes, they had a 67% critic rating of the movie and then a 95% review from the audiences. I do like to look at the numbers and kind of some of the responses, and those responses are interesting because you do see the audience outweighing the critics. You would have expected the critics to really like this film because the critics are predominantly left-leaning and giving into these, kind of equity, inclusion, diversity, more, quote-unquote woke ideologies, and kind of be excited about this. But you have critics, and there's one of them. His name is Wesley Morris. In his review, New York Times, Wesley Morris is a 2 times Pulitzer Prize winning film critic, which I would just like to go on the record and say film critics shouldn't be winning Pulitzer Prizes, but whatever we go with there.
That is not fair! That is not fair!
The new live action Little Mermaid is everything nobody should want in a movie. It's dutiful and defensive, yet desperate for approval. It reeks of obligation and noble intentions. Joy, fun, mystery, risk, flavor, and kink.
What?
They are missing. All of those may be true because it is a remake, right? You're not going to get any surprises. You're not going to get any, new approaches to this. They are playing this safe. It's why Disney is remaking so many of these movies, is because they feel like they have a guaranteed box office return with very little risk. But this last word reveals a lot. He thinks that there should be kink in The Little Mermaid, that Little Mermaid should have kinkiness in them. Just in case you didn't know, the definition of kink, you could talk about a kink in your neck or things like that, but where he's talking about, where it seems like he was talking about, would be a person's unusual sexual preference. So there is not enough unusual sexual preference expressed in the family children's remake of The Little Mermaid.
I'd be like, so what?
And this, of course, many people are talking about, and I think reveals something about The Little Mermaid that could be true. Now, I would love for somebody to comment down below how they feel about this, who has seen the movie. But my assumption is, and my guess from looking at some of the confirmed viewer results, is that outside of changing the race of Ariel and I think the gender of a couple of characters or something like that, that there's not really a lot of like woke ideology coming through this, that there's some representation issues that they've put into the film, but they're not necessarily pushing ideology through this. Now, there's controversy about the changing the song of like, kiss the girl and making sure that there was approval before he kissed her and things like that. I don't think that those concepts in and of themselves are toxic. Like I shouldn't be kissing a girl unless she's given me some sort of approval to kiss her. My wife and I, when we were dating, of course I wanted to kiss her, but I didn't want to force my kisses upon her. Thankfully, at least at that time in our life, she was welcome to my kisses. Nowadays, depends if I brushed my teeth or not.
Your breath is awful.
This is what Disney has done in the past, and one of the reasons why I would not be surprised to see The Little Mermaid actually do okay in the second weekend. Time will tell. If this takes a huge drop off, then what we'll know is that the audience that kind of came out to see it were people that were excited because of the marketing and the ethnic changing, racial changing of the character, and we have to support things that conservatives are coming against, and all just the political conflict. But my suspicion is, from the people that I know who have seen it, who are on both sides of the aisle, that this movie could have some legs and be a successful live action reshoot for them. And the people who are complaining and kind of getting angry about the racial part of it may, not really carry over into the box office results, which would be a big win for Disney because they are hurting because they've been pushing woke ideology, not just woke representation. And, this could be a winning strategy for Disney in the future if they can continue to kind of ride the line like they had in the past. Now, I will be honest, I'm not rooting for Disney. I think that it doesn't matter what their strategy is, their heart has been revealed by the people that are in charge, but we'll see what happens with The Little Mermaid. There are some other things to think about in this when it comes to review sites that are talked about in this Forbes article, and that is that Rotten Tomatoes, even though they see a higher audience score and a lower critic score, the meta score, which is sometimes more accurate, actually brings the audience scores and the reviews down. So to me, I'm looking at not only is this a good movie and all those kind of things, but how is the big tech reviewing structures? How are they planting seeds? Because that's a whole part of marketing and PR. Lots of interesting things here. Thought I'd share some with you guys. As parents of kids, deciding, are we gonna go see Little Mermaid? Of course, watch some reviews. Go to some trusted sources on content. I've not seen the movie, so I can't give you those content reviews. It seems to me on the surface, from what I'm seeing so far, that it might be okay. But you've got to talk to somebody who's actually seen it to know that. If you guys enjoyed digging into some of the numbers, kind of talking about some of the controversy, we would love if you would like, share, subscribe to this video and to the future videos so that you can see those. We hope that your day is blessed by the Lord and that you go out and be salt and light no matter where you go, and tell someone about His hope and His truth. God bless you guys. We'll see you in the next video.